Hello, welcome Simon's Trading Channel. Yes, I've had a rather drastic haircut. I hope you're all well and you've had a smashing Thursday, getting close to the end of the week on CME. And remember what I said in yesterday's video, I wanted CME to close above 61.6 by the end of the week. And I think that would be rather bullish for Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin today has listened. Clearly, it's been listening to my videos because right now it's done that with how many hours left till the weekly closure on Bybit? 1 day, 3 hours. So still a good while. A lot can happen in a short period of time when you're running with a Bitcoin. But I think my cautious optimism is well placed. Okay, so not going to dwell on the weekly. I'll revisit that tomorrow. So the daily yesterday closed nice and bullishly, and it did indeed take the MACD across above the zero line, and it's a fair way away from the zero line now, with about 5 hours to go before this daily candle closes. And again, this one looks pretty good too. You can see it'll continue rising as long as Bitcoin's not closing daily candles below 59. It's a good way away from that. This bodes quite well. You can also see that the Bollinger Bands did close in, and there was a little bit of expansion from Tuesday, which I did mention, but it's only really been properly confirmed. Again, got to wait for the closure, so still 5 hours to go. But it does look now like there's Bollinger Band expansion, i.e. volatility to the upside. So increased volatility to the upside. I do expect Bitcoin to get some resistance around 65. I might be wrong, but I might be right. Just these highs really. But the way it's shaping up at the moment, certainly doesn't look like it's going to break down, and it certainly looks like this is starting to trend to the upside on a daily time frame. If you're into Elliott Wave and stuff, you could look at this as a 5-phase move, but we don't know that until Bitcoin pulls back from this last move. So, I'm not really into that anyway, but it does kind of look like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that was the case, then you would expect for the trend to continue an ABC pattern followed by another 5 moves to the upside. But again, I'm not really into Elliott Wave. I know that some people do it very successfully. It just doesn't float my boat. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. Thinking it's Thursday and we're not far away from the weekend, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin does kind of get to about 65 and then does a bit of a consolidation over the weekend, maybe waiting to continue the upside move for next week. But again, complete hearsay. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, volatility expansion looks like it's happening. As long as Bitcoin doesn't crumble in the next 5 hours, all looks good for more upside on a daily time frame. The 4 hour probably look much the same. Yes, indeed. Just a bit more detailed, really. You can see support resistance wise now. Yeah, I would expect Bitcoin to get some 4 hour support. About 62. It's been an important figure for a while, that 62. And so I'd be as bold to suggest, 62 for it to close down, for the MACD to start to turn back down as well. I would be as bold to suggest maybe some sort of support or range. It's not really a range, but you'll see what I mean when I do it. Whoa, hello. What's going on there, Simon? Sort your chart out, please. So something like this for an area that Bitcoin could maybe continue to the upside and then spend some time consolidating over the weekend, maybe, would make sense to me. You can see that clearly there's volatility expansion on the 4 hour, and that's continuing. Doesn't look like there's gonna, as long as Bitcoin, no, there won't be any divergence anyway. So, well, yeah, we'll see where Bitcoin decides to top out this last move on the 4 hour, and then come back to it. I imagine that might be tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. Continues rising above 62, which is pretty much where this blue line is, just a bit further above, yeah, maybe a bit of a range somewhere between 62 and 65 coming into next week, and then it'll look a bit different. And I'm sure you can see pretty safe, pretty much 60,000 is where the middle of the Bollinger Band is. So, you know, Bitcoin's going to continue in an uptrend as long as it's not closing 4 hours, and probably daily's back below there. And I don't think it's in any jeopardy of downtrending at the moment on these lowish time frames, so the 4 hour and the daily. Have I got anything else to say? I think that just about covers it. The momentum, yeah, so 61,000 as well for a weekly closure will shift or turn momentum back to the upside, and it will remain above the zero line. It's a bit like it did over here, in fact. Got very close here and then turned up and then marched on up. So I wonder if something similar will happen here on the MACD, maybe this week or into October. You can see, I didn't mention this, but because we've got to wait for the weekly closure, but it looks like Bybit's about to close a weekly back above the midpoint on the Bollinger. And yeah, well, it depends where CME does close tomorrow, but it's got a chance to close above the midpoint on the Bollinger Band as well. So I'd say my cautious optimism is probably a bit more optimistic now than cautious, but got to wait for those time frame closures. So yeah, don't count your chickens until they hatch. All right, take care, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave it at that. Join me tomorrow for Friday, and we'll see what's going on with CME coming towards the closure of its weekly candle. Take care. Bye-bye.